What's happening, guys? It is Tuesday all day, and back on Duramax, and here's what's going on. I got the trim cladding off right there, and I'm working on cleaning up the double-sided tape stuff. I got a wipe of lightweight filler on that, and I've definitely done something that I'm not proud of in here, but this is the yucky door, so I will feather all that out with my finger and a piece of 80 grit, and then feather those edges up with some 180 to get that ready for primer. But what I wanted to show you guys was how to get the double-sided tape off, in my opinion, what is the easy way. You know, they make Goop Gone and all those liquid things to soften up that adhesive that's on there, and I've yet to find one that works awesome. So I use, there's my rechargeable drill, and that is an eraser wheel. Some of you guys know what that is, some of you don't. Basically, it's like an art eraser, like those gummy erasers on a wheel, and there is a metal disc inside it with an arbor that you can chuck into the drill. Now you got to watch, this thing's getting real small, and there is a ring about where my thumbnail is. I got about 1/8 of an inch to go on the inside, because that metal is back here on the back side, and you got to be careful that you don't wear through to that, or you will start gouging your paint. And basically what that tool does is it creates heat, and it starts to, and friction, and starts to roll that tape up. And some guys run them at high speed. There's also this kind, and let's see what the hell I did with it. I thought I would have stuck it back in the drawer here. I was using it earlier, but it's wasted. It's done for. So, not sure what I did with it, but anyway, 3M makes a wheel that works pretty killer for this, but they're a little expensive, and I'm really not sure what I did with that tool. I really wanted to show it to you guys because those are actually my favorite kind. I'll put you guys on the stand here for a minute and get you set up while I hunt for that wheel. But basically the 3M style wheel, it will chuck into either your drill, or you can cut the end of the arbor a little shorter and chuck it into a roll-lock type grinder mandrel. And it's got several thinner discs that sit on top of one another. I really want to find that, because I think these things are the cat's ass. But they wear out kind of fast. They definitely don't last as long as a normal eraser wheel. I don't know what the hell I did with that grinder. Well, I'll show it to you later when I find it, but those things work really sweet. So that one's worn out, so I'm back down to the old standby here, and this one's about done for anyway. But I'm going to give you guys a little zoom here so you can see what the hell I'm doing. And basically you run this drill so that it is, I think you got a little dinger in that door, it looks like, so that it's running, so that it's pulling away from the door, and it'll pull that tape right up. do on the newer vehicles with the thinner sheet metal is run this thing really fast. Not only can you burn the paint, but you can also generate enough heat with this guy to where you can't even touch it, and you will warp the steel. And you don't want to push, you just kind of let it do the work. You'll feel it grabbing the tape and pulling on it, so that's basically the gist of it. And that's basically it. That's how that goes. I mean, you see how little bit of time that took and very little effort. That tape is completely gone from the door there. And I'm waiting for that filler to cure up. I've got the goop from that fender flare adhesive off. So that's ready to be worked on up there on that driver fender. So I'm going to get on that. And I figured I'd stop and do a little story time here for those of you guys who like that. And I see a couple of guys are kind of putting themselves out there and telling their background on the jobs they've had and what they've done. And for me, most of you guys know this is not my line of work. This is my hobby, and you know, I use YouTube as a tool, just like a lot of you guys do, to learn from other people. And I watch these other people's videos, especially the guys who do this on a day-to-day basis, so I can learn new tips and tricks on ways to do things the right way and faster, and certainly be more productive at what I do. And as we all know, time is money, so when you're doing this for a customer, you know, you want to be very efficient at it the best you can. And that's what I do in the wintertime. I do the small collision jobs and a lot of rust repair jobs, but most of them, you know, they're smaller jobs. I've done a few restos, and I have lots of pictures but no video on the stuff that I've done. And I've been doing this pretty much off and on since high school, so almost 20 years ago. And really in the last 10 years I've gotten serious about it. You know, the technology has changed so much and it changes so fast that you really got to keep up on it, and there's no other way for a guy like me, I suppose, to keep up on it other than to watch YouTube videos and watch guys who are doing this in a shop, and or have done this in a shop and retired from it, and they know the right way to do it. So getting off the beat here a little bit, I'll go back to the original story, you know, what I've done and where I've been. And I guess I haven't had that many jobs. A lot of guys, you know, about every 5 or 10 years are, you know, forced in one way or another, whether it's because of relocation or, you know, money or whatever, forced to choose a new career. And I've been very fortunate to not have to do that, and I'm one of those people that kind of gets in my comfort zone, and I just work harder at what I know how to do. But over the years, I mean, I guess starting my first job was a restaurant job, as a lot of guys and girls for that matter. You know, you start out in a restaurant, and I worked in the kitchen at a five-star restaurant for probably the better part of 10 years, starting at 15. And it was mostly part-time stuff. At about 16 or 17, I started the landscape business with a buddy of mine who was already doing it, and basically just cutting grass and doing stuff like that for people that we knew. And it was really good money. I mean, we were the only guys in high school walking around with $400 or $500 a week in our pockets. And, that was really cool. And, we started off doing that, and you guys, if you've watched a lot of my videos, as of late I've talked about my buddy Andy, and Andy and I were best buds in high school, and he was the guy that I started working with that had, a mower and some equipment and a trailer and a pickup truck, and of course I had my own pickup at the time. And, we really fine-tuned what we were doing to where we could really make some good money. So we joined forces, and we started our own landscape company together, of which we ran for probably about 5 or 6 years. And at that point, it got to a time where we couldn't make a lot of money having two owners in the business. And he has a family business that he was probably going to go into anyway. And he went that direction, and I kept going with the landscape company. And the only other job I had, in the meantime, I worked part-time at a golf course, scrubbing golf clubs and working in the bag room, washing golf carts. But that was all, back in high school. I've been a landscaper since I was 18 years old, and I've never been employed by another person since. Done subcontractor work, but never had another, I guess what I would call a career or a full-time job other than the landscape company. And that's kind of where I've been and what I do. So things change over the years, and people go different directions with what they've been taught to do or what they've gone through school for. And we talk about people that have been through school and go into the job field in a career that they're supposed to be, I don't want to say an expert in, but had school experience with, and sometimes on the job experience. There's a lot of internships and things like that. But I tend to agree with what some of the other guys have said in regards to this subject, that you can't know everything or be on the top of your game in a job until you've learned from somebody else. You have to be thrown into it, baptism by fire, and be willing to clear your head of what you think you know and listen to what other people have to say. And the way to do that the most efficiently that I found is to pick somebody you trust. Pick somebody who you think does a good job at whatever their job is, whether it's landscaping, body work, mechanics, plumber. I don't think it really matters. You have to learn from somebody else. You can have the basics in school, and one thing I can really point out is my wife's career. She's a dentist, and she went into a family business as well as my friend Andy. They both went into a family business, and they both went through school to learn the trade. But one thing they don't teach you very well in school, and you'd have to probably take courses to do it, is to learn how to run a business and not let your business run you. And I learned the hard way. I took very little schooling on as far as I guess accounting and business practices and things like that, and I learned the hard way. Your business can get away from you in a hurry if you don't manage your money. And when you go into business and you're self-employed, just starting out, especially me as a young man, I wanted all new equipment and all that, and you find out in a hurry that you can put yourself in the hurt box. to the point where you never have any extra money. All your money goes towards paying payments. You know, you got 3 or 4 pieces of equipment or trucks or whatever like that, and I'm small time, guys. I am by no means big time, but you're looking at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and then you add a couple employees on top of that. Pretty soon, you got to make 10 grand a month or 20 grand a month to damn near break even, and pay those employees and pay those taxes. And I suggest being self-employed to anybody. It's great, but you got to be able to roll with the punches, because if you don't, you will fail, and you will fail quickly. You know, a lot of us guys out here doing what I do, and even the guys doing you know, small mom and pop mechanic shops, body shops, you got to run a tight ship. There's no two ways about it, because there is no money out there to save you. You know, you really got to take what you can get and do a good job and work off your reputation, and keep those people that you work for happy. There's no two ways about it. So I kind of got off on a tangent there, but I wanted to sort of tell my story. I watched SRV Jedi Knight last night, and he sort of told his story on what he's done in the past, and I thought that was pretty cool. So Damien, thanks for sharing that story. And a couple other guys have told that story, and I think I like that kind. I think that's pretty cool, you know, kind of to know how guys ended up where they're at. Or maybe not how, but, you know, the course of which they took to get to where they're at. So I'm going to cut this off, because this is probably getting kind of long, and I'm going to bring you guys back when I have some more body work going. So we'll call this kind of where I've been video at 17 and a half minutes here. So I'll catch you guys later. Alright guys, end of the day update. All body work is done on the door bottoms. They're ready for primer tomorrow. It's almost 6 o'clock here, and I have some obligations, so I need to get out of here, and I'll show you what I got. So this is not probably the preferred way to do this, but that's feathered out. It's kind of gnarly, but the high build primer will cover a lot of that. I need to do a little work up in those holes so that those are rounded off, but other than that, everything's done. That was the only one I had to do any filler work to make it into something. This door bottom, I've got some acid on it right now. Inside, actually all of them I do on the inside, but doors are feathered out and ready for some, I'm going to put some epoxy down. Ooh, excuse me. And now throw some high build primer on them. So all 4 doors pretty much look like that. That fender's pretty much ready to go. I've got some rust pits to deal with up in that little crease there, and some rust pits down there to take care of where you can see them. The ones underneath are going to get bombed with some chip guard, so I don't care. I'll just put a tight wipe of Duraglass over that, and that one up there I'll probably do the same, or I'm sorry, I'll probably just put a tight wipe of lightweight filler over that up there, but the bottom ones I'll smear some Duraglass in. They're a little worse, and I think there's some pinholes in them. That door is ready to go. I've got a wipe of glazing putty over my filler on the bottom. That's all nice, ready to go. Something else noteworthy, on the corner of the bed here I had a dent, and I'm trying to multitask and bounce around while I'm waiting for filler to dry in one place. I go do something else. So that was a little crease back there, which I pulled with the Dent Wizard. And for those of you who have never seen this machine before, I need to get a new battery for it. But go back on my old videos and check that guy out. It's got a battery charger on top, and then that lower unit there has a big truck battery in it, and you put your ground clamp on right here, which is stuck to the electrode. That's the ground clamp right there. It's magnetic. And then there's your electrode right there. It's got a little button on it right up here at the top, and that engages a solenoid to throw the power to the electrode tip. And you can also put that down through that lever and use that to pull with, or you can just pull with the handle and tap down your highs. I use that to do that job. And if you go back in the videos, you'll see I've used it before. That door is feathered and ready to go. So is this one inside here. It's got some acid along the bottom right now, kind of getting anything that I couldn't get to. And I've done them this way several times, and they don't come back very fast as far as if they had rust pits in them or whatever. Milrick has a method where he smears Duraglass across the whole seam on the bottom, and I bet that works pretty sweet too. It doesn't give you that factory look, but who gives a shit? It's inside the door. And then here's this front door on this side. Was a little worse. And I kept wondering why the driver's side was worse than the passenger side. And somebody made a comment that the majority of the salt that goes on the roads is right up the center of the road. And I don't know why I didn't think about that before. I mean, obviously this is sort of my line of work, so that totally makes sense. Got a little window on the world there in the passenger front fender. Yeah, any boilage that comes out of the batteries or gases tends to all congregate down in that corner, and that whole thing is just crustified inside. So I'm going to have to make a rather large patch or get off my wallet and buy a fender. The other one I'm going to fix for sure. So that all being said, that's where I'm at for today. I got that header panel ordered for my bed. It should be here the end of the week. So we'll get crack-a-lacking on that bed over there and get that all taken care of. But the goal tomorrow is to have these doors in 2K primer and ready to go. So I'll try and get a video for you tomorrow, but for now we're going to get this one uploaded for you when I get home. And enjoy, guys. Hope you all are having a good day. We'll catch you later.